I'm correct when I say that today is the day. It's the day we get to finish this beast of a bike and say goodbye to yet another wicked build. So we've got dyno, we've got more performance parts, but first, we've actually got to clean this thing. And that's because there's no way in my right mind I could let one of these beautiful bikes walk out the door looking like a bag of crap. So, as much as I might protest, I will try and clean something. So next up, I had to remove the lower fairing just so I can get access to the shifter arm. And now that the lower fairing was off, we could actually get our new shifter arm from our Spider Rare sets and put the extension arm onto the existing shifter arm and make one shifter arm. Now this part was actually kind of frustrating because it took me about 15 minutes to really get the angles right between the shifter arm and making sure that the actual back of the rear set didn't rub over all of the carbon on the swing arm. After a bit of fiddling around, I managed to get it just about right. And then it's simply a matter of putting the whole thing back together, fairing back on, job done. Okay, so one minor issue that I've never had before is I cannot bleed the frickin' clutch. So like, I put a new cylinder on there, so a new reservoir. I just can't seem to get anything coming out here. So we are going to attempt to vacuum bleed. Never done a vacuum bleed before, so we're going to try and do that a little bit later on when we do the dyno, and fingers crossed we can get this clutch to work. I'm a little bit worried that the plunger on the OEM handle I bought is actually too short, and it's not. You can see there how it's actually bottoming out on the master cylinder. So I'm a bit worried the plunger's too short, but fingers crossed it's just me being useless, and we'll try and get it fixed to Savo. Okay, we're back. Cold beer, donuts. It's dyno time, bitches. So I'm with Brett, the master mechanic. How do we actually do a vacuum?
We use a vacuum bleeder.
We use a vacuum bleeder. So that runs air straight across the top.
And it'll pull the vacuum through, and it'll pull the fluid through the system.
Yeah.
And give you a head start.
But we're running it on the bottom nozzle, yeah?
Yeah, we'll pull it from the top all the way down.
From the top down. Yeah, okay, cool. And then you just turn it off to stop the vacuum.
Now we got a lever.
Woo! How cool is that? It's like 10 times faster than doing it my way.
There's the YouTube way and the correct way.
Wow, hurt my feelings. Well, now that I only live 7 minutes away, you know where I'm coming every single time I need a bleed done, don't you?
It'll cost you many donuts.
Many donuts.
Many donuts.
Donuts. That's pretty loud.
Sounds good. GP shift there too, I've noticed.
Yeah, I just did that today actually. I just put it all together. I'm hoping this chain will just clean up. Brett, what do you reckon? Just like it looks a bit rusty. I wasn't going to replace it.
How dacky is it?
Yeah, no, it should clean
It
up.
should just clean up, yeah.
Huh?
So, what do you reckon we're going to get? Brett, you're up first. What do you reckon?
I would hope 200, 205.
You got to pick a number. One number.
204.
204? Oh, damn, that's what I was going to pick.
208.
208. Dreaming.
Yeah, 204, I think.
204? Well, you're both going to win a donut. I'm going to go... I'm going to go 203 and a half. Okay, fine, I'll go 203. We're at 207.91 currently, and
With the dragging clutch.
with a dragon clutch, and Brett reckons we're going to get more. So let's see.
Try again.
$210. So who was closest to 210?
I picked
You were?
208.
208.
Yeah, baby.
I was at 203.5. The other two boys were at 204. You win the donuts.
Hey, that'll do.
That's if they don't get eaten beforehand. You're it. Hey,
What
pups.
bike is it?
What's that?
What bike is it?
This is a Panigale V4.
Oh, you got to fix me up for the brake.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Thanks so much, Brett. 210. Point. Wait, hold on. Let's get it exact. Let's get it exact. 210.34 at 13.3 thousand RPM. Max torque 91.73 at 11,680. That is impressive numbers. So whoever buys this bike is going to have an over 210 horsepower weapon at their disposal. I can't believe it, man. Oh, way more than I expected. Awesome. Look at the dip, how it just sort of dips in power. Like it's still going up progressively, but just a significant dip, and then it just picks up heaps more power again here. Isn't that odd? So you use so much more power towards the mid to top range in that V4. So we're just clearing a few codes. Was there anything that really stood out?
Intake air temperature sensor.
Intake air temperature sensor. So probably something I've unplugged. I need to double check it. plug it back in. I did notice some extra plugs in the front. I probably need to make sure they're plugged back in. So we're just going through, see how errors are deleted, press confirm, or we're just deleting one at a time. Most of them are fine, there's nothing major. So thank you for watching. This is another build completed, and this one was in record time. Actually, this was all up, I think this was only 7 weeks. So that's a pretty quick build to get something like this. And wow, I mean, should we take a look at everything we've done to it? Okay, so let's start from the frame. The frame itself was actually fine. We did replace the front frame. So you see the front frame through there is a Moto Holders front frame. So that's got a new race frame on the front. And then it's also got, if you can see through there, it's got carbon ducts. So it's got a carbon air duct which feeds into the Moto Holders front frame. So that was all replaced. We've replaced the rear frame as well with a Moto Holders race frame. So all of those frames and ducts are thanks to Cube Moto on the Gold Coast. So thank you so much for them. At the rear, we've replaced all of our sprockets with a CNC and JT sprocket racing combo. So this is quick release, and then we put some nice CNC racing bling in terms of the nuts and the sprocket carrier as well. So that is thanks to Moto Mia in Brisbane. What else have we done? We've done some carbon. So the carbon on the back guard here and the tank is thanks to RPM carbon, and I'm pretty sure it's Thailand. We've done the rear sets. So these are Spider rear sets. These are the GP Evo rear sets. So thank you again, Cube Moto, for that on the Gold Coast. GB Racing engine covers, both sides. Pro Fiber provided us with our really awesome race fairing. So that came up super awesome. Two-wheel decals. We had a whole bunch of decals made at two-wheel decals. So thank you again for those guys. Race seat, bought that off a good friend of mine, so thank you a lot. We've got the Race Box Mini, so that is fully Bluetooth and wireless, so that'll connect up and you can use that on the go. Suspension, so front and rear suspension, we've got the TTX on the rear, Öhlins TTX, and then on the front we've got the fully adjustable Öhlins electronic shocks, fully rebuilt by Ride Dynamics, by Joe at Ride Dynamics on the Gold Coast. We've also got all the switchgear, so all the CNC Racing switchgear on the left-hand side here, including the CNC adjustable RC19 brake. We'll go over the other side in a second and have a look. We've got the start-stop button, the CNC Racing start-stop button, and then the integrated throttle over on the right-hand side. So let's shoot over that right-hand side and take a quick look. There's the Brembo RC19. So that's a pretty awesome piece of kit. That's all thanks to Moto Mia in Brisbane. So yeah, once again, thanks Matt from Moto Mia. Some other suspension related work. We've got a YSS steering damper. So that replaced the OEM steering damper that was completely destroyed. So thank you to Suspensions R Us, one of our major sponsors, Suspensions R Us, for all your suspension needs. So these guys are awesome. We've replaced the brake pads, so we've got carbon SBS racing pads in there. Everything else was relatively straight, so the front wheel was fine, it just needed a good clean. The rotors were nice and straight. The rest of the body was nice and straight. What else have we done? We've got the full acro system exhaust on it, so front to rear acro system on it. That's probably why we got 210 10 horsepower at the dyno. We've got the nice CNC red nut on the back here as well. What else? The list just keeps going on. We've got the Ducati V4 tank pads. We've got on the edge, we've got some monkey bone stuff. So we've got monkey bones lever guards, domino grips, and then we've also got the TWM Marcassini tank, quick release tank thingamabob. So that's cool. We've just got a standard dash because you don't need to shell out sort of $4,000 for an L2M dash if you don't need to. WRS screen, thanks to Cube Moto. Yeah, we have just pretty much top to tail this whole bike, and there's really not much that hasn't been touched, to be honest. In terms of deletes, we've done a side stand delete. We've done an evap delete, which is right down the bottom there. So that's your evaporative air delete. We've done a secondary air delete up inside the engine there. So that's all the covers off the engine. So that's called a, what's that called? An AIS delete. So that's done as well. So we've got three deletes done. We've got the rear light delete done. So the whole bike is actually completely set up and ready for racing or track now. So really, this bike will go on the market soon. Good luck to whoever buys it. This thing is an absolute beast. Once again, I just want to thank all my sponsors. Moto Garage, Brett from Moto Garage helps me out so much with so much knowledge and so many tips and tricks, and pulls me up when I'm doing something wrong. So massive shout out to Brett from Moto Garage. Matt from Moto Mia in Brisbane gets me all of the CNC Racing goodies really quickly. If you need any CNC gear, hit up Matt. Izzy from YSS Suspension, thank you so much. Izzy from Suspensions R Us, who stock YSS Suspension, thank you so much. Jake Short and Ben from Cube Moto, some of the parts we've got on this bike are really thanks to you guys, so amazing. Race and Road, so we've got Smarty and Lisa from Race and Road for the tyres in particular, but everything else you've helped me with to source for this bike and my other bikes, we thank you so much for that. Who am I missing out? Two-wheel decals for the decals, and anyone else who I may have missed, I'm sorry if I missed you, but thank you so much for everyone involved, and onwards and upwards, because there's another build coming and it's going to be epic, and it starts another 2 weeks, so stay tuned, like, subscribe, you know the drill. So earlier in the day, I lost the rubber seal out of that reservoir, and it's under here somewhere.
It's inside the dyno.
Inside the dyno. So when it comes out, it'll be faster. It'll be a faster rubber seal when it comes out.